doing? We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
One Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Good morning. It's great to be with you today, and welcome into halftime on a Monday. I am Phil Olson. I will be joined by Clay Henry today, the one and only Clay Henry, our friend, our Hall of Famer, former editor and publisher of Hogs Illustrated, as we are without Matt Jones for the week. It's like I almost had to convince him to take a vacation, something he's never done in the near 2 years. He's been the co-host of Halftime with me. So it's going to be a little bit of a different week. Got Christian Johnston in the producer's chair. And Clay, good morning to you. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. It's been seems like it's been a hectic month. You know, I look back, the Memorial Day weekend, we had the tornado, and, that came. We've had two Hall of Fame induction, 2 lunches, one in Fayetteville and one in Jonesboro. That's opposite directions for me, 2.5 hours either way. Then we had the birthday bash. And then I had little Wyatt Gage for 2 days. I played golf with Wyatt. He's like my grandson. And we played baseball. Scott Tabor got me a bucket of balls, and I threw batting practice in a cage for an hour and a half. Oh, my arm is still sore.
How the heck are you able to even lift your arm right now, man?
I had no idea what I was doing and the problems that it would cause.
Are you a switch caster when it comes to fishing? Can you cast with both arms? Because that right arm didn't need it today.
I can, but I'm not very good with the left. And then Wyatt and I played golf, and now that affected my knees. We played 9 holes of golf at Twin Lakes. So then we had the all-day fundraiser at Two Rivers Fly Shop. We had all kinds of stuff, and I cooked all night Friday. I cooked 4 pork butts, made I think it was 80 sandwiches. We sold those, and then the Cotter Fire Department, they did 4 pork butts. We sold those. Like I made sandwiches all day is what I made. Wrapped them up in foil in those little single sheets. But I stayed up most of the night Friday making sure that my the fuel was just right. So I'm glad to just sit down and do radio with you, Phil.
It almost sounded like you needed a vacation from the weekend. So
I'm going to have one.
Is that what these 3 hours are? I mean, I count this as work. I don't know what you count this as.
Well, I don't have to do anything but talk.
And talk about sports, right? Yeah. Not too much work.
You're gonna guide me through it, and I'm gonna, I've watched a lot of Olympic trials. I watched a lot of Copa soccer and UEFA the Europe Cup or whatever it is.
Well, I'm planning on watching Copa America tonight. It's a pretty big match for the United States against Uruguay or Ecuador.
Yes.
Pardon me.
Well, I thought it was Uruguay.
It is Uruguay. You're right. I wrote in the wrong South American country.
Yeah, it's the U's.
Well, you got to win this one or match or you're not going to be moving on.
They stunk it up after playing a couple of really good friendlies, including a draw against Brazil. And Tim Weah goes out there and if you hit somebody in the head, punch them with your hands in the back of the head, it is a red card every time.
He got an extra suspension. He's missing 2 games for that.
Yeah, he should. It's just like you get that out of the game. And all the Panamanian team did was just, we're going to needle them. We're going to do things, and they're going to retaliate in a stupid way, and that's what he did. And they mauled the goalkeeper. They were willing to give up a yellow card for that. Didn't get one. And so we had guys running around the field like, we're going to get them back. Well, you know how you get them back? You beat them. You score goals. And
well, that's where Matt is today. He's on his way to Kansas City. Got tickets behind one of the end zones at Arrowhead Stadium tonight, 8 o'clock kick. So I'm a little envious of that because, first of all, I'd love to go to Arrowhead. I've never been inside for a football game, whether American or international football. And I can imagine it'd be kind of a wild atmosphere today. And hope he has a lot of fun because I know this is something that you don't really get a chance to do very much. Hopefully it's like a bit of a preview as to what we can do in 2 years when the World Cup is here, and it's also in Kansas City and in Dallas too. 2 short drives away. Might as well enjoy something like that.
He's going to have good weather. I'm looking at it. They've got intensive storms today, but it's going to stop here shortly, and then he's going to have a great night. So it's going to be like it's 6 p.m., 81 degrees with 5% chance of showers, and it stays 81 until 11 o'clock. It's going to be hardly any wind and 2% chance. He's going to have a great night, so I'm happy for him because this is still kind of springtime in Kansas City. They had the heavy storms earlier today and just about done, and everything will be perfect for our friend Matt Jones.
Well, we move on to the month of July, which this is the only month of the entire calendar where there is not some collegiate sports event that we'll be focusing on. You think baseball usually plays in June. They played just a little bit in June this year. Football opens up in August. Soccer also opens up in August. So July is a standalone month where there's no Razorback games. But this is also a day where things change officially in the SEC and really all across college sports because now the athletic calendar moves forward 1 year, and the ACC is growing by 3 teams. The Big Ten is growing by 4, and the SEC is growing by the 2 that we've been talking about for the last 2 years since they announced they would be making this jump into the Southeastern Conference. And I do wonder about, we've known this is going to happen. Texas and Oklahoma will be joining the SEC, and now it's happened. Today is the first day. What does it mean for this conference? This is a little different than when Mizzou and A&M joined. I think it's more different than when South Carolina and Arkansas joined. I mean, that did signal the start of expansion in the SEC when Arkansas and South Carolina joined all those years ago in 92. But the 2 brand names that are coming in, I know that there's nobody listening right now outside of maybe a couple of people that would count themselves as Texas fans, but you can't deny just the largesse of that brand name coming in, not just in football, but just in the athletic department overall, and Oklahoma as well. The league really taking a big step forward, and, you wonder, do you need to get any bigger after this?
Well, you had let's see, 8 and 8, 16. There's 16 more important games. I mean, those are important games. Anytime Texas and Oklahoma play, there is, you perk up a little bit. I'm talking about around the country. The Texas folks, they're all scoundrels. They're all, don't kid yourself. I call them tea sippers. It's just, they look down at us. And for no reason. It's just, and they haven't done a whole lot of late when you talk about, national championships and Heisman trophies and those sort of things that they've been a non-player for a long time. They got into playoffs last year, but that, we don't know whether they can maintain that. Other than last year, they'd averaged 7.6 wins a year for the previous 10. So that's the same as what Arkansas has been doing. That's Oklahoma has, they have dominated Texas of late, but they seem to have taken a little bit of a downturn since Brent Venables became coach. We'll see if he can, resurrect things. And they lost a lot of players. The portal was unkind to the Sooners. And the interview I did with Barry Switzer, he's like, hey, it's going to be tough. It's going to be like playing Texas every week, which is the way my dad explained it when Arkansas went into the SEC in 1991, that it's an all-day sucker every week. No, it doesn't matter where you go or who's coming to your place. It's going to be a tough game. What is really cool about the SEC, and Texas has never, ever, 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 ever had this. the decisions are made one vote, one school. Texas will not be able to dominate the conference room. They will not get to have their way. They'll have to go along with what majority rules. They have never done that. They've always felt like whatever they said, the rest of the conference will cave, whether it be the Southwest Conference or the Big 12. It will not be like that in the SEC.
Well, in the SEC, you know, they're the one that's joining the league rather than the league being built around them.
Correct.
Which is what the Southwest Conference was, and certainly they were. You know, I would say they were the biggest of the programs that helped put together the Big 12. Of course, you've had some schools leave that league, and Texas has ended up joining them now, right at the very same time. So, and for Arkansas, what does it mean? I mean, geographically, you're no longer on the periphery of this league, and for years, just think of Arkansas. The years in the Southwest Conference, you were the definition of the periphery. You were the only school outside of the state of Texas. Even joining the SEC for all these years up until Missouri joined, you were right at the border, and now you are kind of, you know, you're bordered by SEC schools, which has to be the first time this has happened too. Oklahoma, Missouri, Tennessee, Mississippi, Texas, LSU. Arkansas is kind of now, I wouldn't say right in the middle, but ish right in the middle of the SEC.
Yep. Here's something interesting. You can tell your Texas people, you have no conference records anymore. You start from scratch. You know, Arkansas, anything they did before 1992 does not count in conference records. So Texas has no SEC records. They have no history as far as conference records, because anything they did in the Southwest Conference of the Big 12, that doesn't count.
It's just interesting too, you know, to figure, you know, is getting away from Texas a major reason why Arkansas joined the Southeastern Conference?
Oh no, they thought Texas and Texas A&M were coming.
Mm.
You know, that was blocked by the Texas governor, who, you know, sided with Baylor and Texas Tech, and you know the smaller schools. But Texas and Texas A&M were coming. That was the deal, and it was going to be expanded beyond you know, the 12 teams in 1991. That was the back channels, and they thought that they were going to be able to come. They wanted to come, and so it was a little different when Texas A&M broke away. They wanted away from Texas at that point. But in 1991 or 90, when all this talk was going on, Texas and Texas A&M, they wanted away from Rice and Houston and Baylor and SMU. I mean, when they played a game in their stadium and they had, you know, 2,500 to 3,000 seats set aside for the visitors, those people brought 500 or 800. They weren't going to pay to watch Texas, you know, beat them down. I mean, those schools in the Southwest Conference were traveling literally just a few hundred to Fayetteville. So the gate was a big part of the reason, and the TV money. But the gate, you know, Frank Broyles says that, you know, the pro sports had killed the Southwest Conference. You know, the Dallas Cowboys, the Houston Oilers, and you know, all those other pro sports. You know, SMU and Baylor, their fans they quit traveling for sports. They were not heavyweight fans. So you have 6,000 fans from a rival SEC school. Georgia comes to Fayetteville. They bring the house.
They do. They really do. Well, and it's also just the optics of the drama involving Texas and Texas A&M baseball last week.
No
man,
question.
that is absolutely the most entertaining way to see one of these schools join the Southeastern Conference. And that's something we'll get into in a moment, because it does appear that there's been a resolve for A&M to make a hire, and some interesting details have come out from that job search as well. Here's what we got on halftime for this Monday. We'll talk with Nate Olson, Scorebook Live, in a couple of hours. We're actually going to dig into a little bit of a friendly argument Nate and I got into that I wonder your ideas about it. If you remember the Rickwood Classic game a couple weeks ago, when Derek Jeter asked Barry Bonds what he would do against Satchel Paige, and Bonds' simple answer was gone. Nate and I have a couple of different ideas as to what could happen if the two of them did face each other. And yes, we've got some high school possible commitment to Arkansas to talk about later, with Omarion Robinson making his commitment public later on in the week. Today is also Bobby Bonilla Day, and famous for the deferred compensation to Bonilla. But there's like a dozen other players that are making literally millions of dollars today that haven't played a game in 10 to 15 years. NBA free agency has taken a huge step forward in the first couple of days. You got some thoughts as to one of the reasons why the NBA and the NFL are so much more popular during the offseason than Major League Baseball is. All that and your calls and texts as we go throughout halftime on this Monday. It is me, it is Clay Henry, and it is the C Unit, who later will have a review of Blazing Saddles, which he was introduced to over the weekend. We're brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma. That's the dealership serving the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas for over 7 decades. Been at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma, right beside the Cracker Barrel for a long time. They will make sure that your family gets the absolute best experience, choosing the right RV for the adventures you need. Service and parts department helps you out. Everything you need in between at Crabtree RV. They're at CrabtreeRV.com for more information. You can also give us a call or a text on the McLarty Daniel hotline as we go throughout the show. We'll open it up right now, 877-377-6963. What does it mean to you that Oklahoma and Texas are now officially part of the same conference as the Arkansas Razorbacks? Halftime will be back right after this.
This is Halftime. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot.
It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill.
So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas.
Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all. From
63 calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Texas A&M has made their hire for head baseball coach after the crazy drama involving Jim Schlossnagle and an athletics director that was hiding out. Did you see this, Clay? By a cemetery in Snook, Texas, because he didn't want to be seen in College Station with A&M coming home from Omaha and having a throng of fans at the ballpark. So we went, I wouldn't say as far away as you can, but I don't know anybody that'd be looking inside a cemetery for an athletics director wondering if he's going to hire his baseball coach. So it looks...
Would that indicate that his program's dead?
I think potentially, although I'll tell you what, Schlossnagle will get Texas to a good place, though I don't know how many of his former players are going to be following him to Texas, if any of them, because the new hire is his former hitting coach, Michael Early, who will be a first-time head coach. And Kendall Rogers says he thinks that most, if not all, of the Aggie players that went into the portal last week, and the biggest names would be Gavin Grahovic, SEC Freshman of the Year. I think next year's front runner for Golden Spikes, Jace Laviolette, the shortstop Ali Camarillo, Hayden Schott in the outfield, a few others. He expects them all to go back to A&M, which will make them just as formidable as they were last season.
That's correct. And we'll see what happens with their pitching coach. I mean, Schloss was really good with pitchers. I mean, that was his forte. That kind of takes me back. I don't think people remember when Tony Vitello came to Arkansas. He came as the pitching coach. He was the pitching coach at TCU, but he didn't run the pitching. That was Schloss, and they didn't get along too much. I mean, because it's whatever Tony did. Well, Schloss did it the other way. It's like I'm going to undo it. So the key hire for them will be their hitting coach, and they did not bring their guy from Texas A&M. So that's a little bit of a blow. We'll see how he does, but he will be able to handle the pitching. I mean, that's what he's always done.
I wondered about the job search a little bit because that certainly is not the first place that they looked. Apparently kicked the tires on Virginia's Brian O'Connor, who's been there 20 years, has a national title and a few trips to Omaha. Might have kicked the tires, too, on Skip Johnson from Oklahoma, who took them to national runner-up a couple of years ago and had them hosting a regional this year as well. Wes Johnson got a contract extension the day after Schlossnagle was announced as the hire at Texas, and there might have been a few other coaches they looked at too. Kendall Rogers also is adamant that A&M took a hard run at Tony Vitello. But if he didn't take that money that they would have been offering him, and I think that the rate is about $3 million, if I read correctly about Schlossnagel's new contract. And by the way, I have a tough time referring to somebody as his nickname if I don't respect him very much. So I'm going to have to go with the full name, Schlossnagel. Tony's never leaving Tennessee. if it ain't now, I don't think it's ever going to happen. But there's no way this was the first choice. But this might be the best choice for A&M to keep that team together.
Yeah, we'll see if he's a head coach. We'll find out, can he manage a game? And can he – I mean, Dave Van Horn is really good at managing a season and a game and handling the pitching staff. So he's a hitting coach, and that's always the critical aspect. If you're a hitting guy, how can you – how are you going to be at handling pitching, and how are you going to be about managing the game? Because it's all about how you get to the ninth inning. How you use your staff, and then over an SEC weekend, how you do it 3 times, or if there's a doubleheader. Those are the killers. The Friday, Saturday doubleheader because it's going to rain on Sunday, and your bullpen, you're not able to pitch them, twice or 3 times if you're playing 3 games in under 24 hours, and that's what happens. And I've always thought Dave was really good at understanding how to maximize, his pitching arms and number of pitches to get through the weekend and win the series, because he wins a lot of series. So we'll see if that guy can do that, and who he gets is a pitching coach, and how he just handles the Aggie mindsets down there, because
that too. But he's
goofy.
He's been there 3 years, so he's at least had some time to get used to it.
That's not enough.
Would take about 5 or 6.
He just now knows don't walk on the grass.
Well,
Stay off the grass.
It looks like they're going to be hiring the Washington Huskies head coach as top assistant pitching coach for Texas A&M. And that's interesting, isn't it? Because that goes right along the lines of, it's a different sport, but UCLA, Chip Kelly leaves the head coaching position to take an assistant job in the same league with a program that's in a much better position. And Kelly's had success at Washington. I think he took them to Omaha in 2018. I think he's run a pretty good program there, but you would much rather not be joining the Big Ten. So it looks like and I would imagine you hand literally every pitching decision over to this guy. And Early really, for me, sounds like he's more of like a recruiter / hitting coach, and a CEO sort of a head coach that might not have anything to do with the pitching.
Yeah, that's probably right. And you're 100% on. If you're at Washington or you're at Oregon, you're Oregon State, and you're used to playing all your springtime games in a mild climate, and you're thinking about what is the weather going to be like in April in Illinois and Indiana and Michigan, and I don't even know which teams play in the Big Ten. I guess you've also got to go to Maryland, right? That's a big.
I think there's only one. I think there's only one Big Ten school that doesn't have baseball, and that's Wisconsin.
That's Wisconsin, which makes sense. But it's like you got a road series at Rutgers. You got a road series at Maryland. Give me a break.
Have fun with
baseball.
that.
Yeah.
Have fun with that. 877-377-6963 is our McLarty Daniel hotline. Our first caller today is Greg in Farmington. Morning, Greg. How are you?
Hey, guys. How's it going? Hey, you were asking the question, what's it mean with Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC? I don't think it means a dang thing, personally, because Texas is going to find out that they're playing big boy football now, and they're going to get a reality check that they're not God's gifts to football, because the SEC doesn't fall off once you get past Texas and Oklahoma. We don't fall off like the Big 12 did. So Texas is going to get a reality check, and I'm looking forward to it. That's all I got to say.
Appreciate that, Greg. Thanks for your call. Well, I'll tell you one thing that Oklahoma and SEC joining the league means. This whole deal with Schlossnagle last week wouldn't have happened if Texas wasn't coming into the SEC, because you're not leaving that job to take a Big 12 job. Now, I wonder if that eventually could play its way into football. Now, you got a really stable coaching staff on both sides here, And Oklahoma, I think, was trying to project that by extending Brent Venables after just 2 years. Sark's built himself a good program there. That's not the same Longhorns that came in to Razorback Stadium and was blown off the line of scrimmage a few years ago. And now I don't know if I'd agree, Clay, with the way that Quinn Ewers put it, that Texas is everybody's biggest game this year. They're going to be one of the biggest games each team plays against them this year. Maybe not number one.
Well, there's not another game on Alabama's schedule that's more meaningful than Auburn. There's not another game that's more meaningful than Georgia's schedule than Florida. I mean that's just the way it is.
Tennessee's going to play
Tennessee's
Alabama.
got Alabama.
That matters to them quite a bit.
Tennessee,
Mississippi State, Ole
Florida,
Miss,
Georgia, yeah. LSU, Ole Miss, LSU, Alabama. I guarantee you, the people in Baton Rouge don't look at Texas as a hated enemy like they do Alabama or Ole Miss. Ole Miss and Mississippi State, that's a different deal, guys. It's not going to be like Ole Miss in Texas, but Texas is an important game for everybody that plays them. Now, that's the way it was in the old Southwest Conference. All the schools except Arkansas were in Texas. They hated Texas. That's not what's going to happen in this. But the teams will be equivalent to playing Texas every week. There's not any easy suckers. And, we can talk about the Big 12 and what it had and what it didn't have, but basically what you're facing is a different line of scrimmage league. I mean, it was, they played a lot of throw the ball around, a lot of passing stuff, a lot of perimeter game stuff. It starts in the SEC. Can you run in the A-gap? Can you defend the A-gap? Do you have 10 defensive linemen or 8 defensive linemen? How is your offensive line? I mean, if you practice against a good defensive line, you're going to have a good offensive line. So that's what Texas has to get ready for, is that there's not any week where the team across from you can't rush the passer.
Mm-hmm.
They can stop the run, and they can rush the passer defensively.
Well, it's also, like you said, just the idea of what constitutes a big game specifically. And I think when you look at everybody in the SEC, outside of the team that's joining them and the team that they just took a baseball coach from, everybody else already has built-in rivals outside of Arkansas. But I think the Texas game is too late in the season for it to be right now viewed as the biggest game of the year. That's something I'll get into in just a little bit.
Yeah, that's an interesting discussion.
That's
interested
something.
in that.
Well, we need to hit on that maybe after the break. 877-377-6963 if you want to get with us on that. Hey, don't forget, when you're looking out on the lake, doing any cold water bass fishing, make sure you got the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. with you, the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad. Work from the top of the water column to the bottom. If you're trying to whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers or trying to win a bass tournament, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them for you. Find it at LearnNet.com and tackle stores all over the place. Stay with Halftime. Back in just a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're listening to Halftime live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westart Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westart Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
To get on board, we're gonna ride till there ain't no more to go. Taking it slow. Lord, don't you know? I've made a time with a poor man's lady, sitting on a twilight train. Ain't nothing here that I care to take along. Maybe a song, sing when I want. No need to stay, please, no man.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
So I really don't think that most football players that are playing college football know what everybody else's schedule looks like. I think they know what their schedule looks like, and I think they obviously know the team that's right in front of them and the team that they're about to play and that they're scouting. Quinn Ewers to say everybody's biggest game is Texas this year is just the typical Texas stuff. Every quarterback at Texas has been thinking this since the University of Texas first fielded a football team. He's just falling into line. What is the biggest game of the season? It's not necessarily the name on the jersey in front of you or the rivalry of what it means. It's the game that, for Arkansas, the game that details the sort of season you might be about to have, which for me is the Texas A&M game on an annual basis. That has been the biggest game of the year. It's a rival. Yes, absolutely it's a rival. But it's also the measuring stick is what it feels like for Arkansas, and just the idea that you've lost so many games to them out of the last, how many, 13, 14, only one victory. That game means more than the Texas game, because by the time, Clay Henry, you get to November the 16th, you know the sort of season that you have had up to that point. And that's not going to detail it. Like, if you find a way to beat Texas on November 16th, something tells me you've already been really good up to then. And in order to be really good, they're going to have to beat A&M, Clay.
You've turned a good season into a great season is what you did with that one. Yeah. No, I get it. And, I mean, there's several of those games that if you put together, up to 4 conference wins, then you've had a great season with where they've been the last 2 years. I think that there's potential to get things going, starting with the Oklahoma State game.
Yeah,
that's a pivotal game in my eyes.
Feels like a measuring stick too, because it's not a league team, but it's a program that you should be about the same level as Oklahoma State. Haven't been, but should be. It's
a true road game. It's a team that returns the bulk of its roster. It's got a solid coaching staff. That they're going to be predictable. They're going to do the same things that. So, but yeah, it's a game where you can see, can Arkansas run the ball, and if they can run the ball, a lot of good things will happen with that offense. And I've talked to Petrino about that, and he feels like that with this offensive line and these running backs, they should be able to, if they only run the ball 20, 25 times in that game, that tells you something that, I don't think Oklahoma State's been able to really stop the run. So that's to me what you're looking for in that game too, in Stillwater.
What do we expect out of Arkansas defensively? Because the issue that I've had, I agree. Offensively, I think there's going to be an uptick. I would expect they can run the ball with success with the changes they've made on the line, with the guys that are coming in to play running back. I expect that they'll be able to find success in the air. I trust that out of Bobby Petrino. I don't know enough about Taylen Green other than what I've seen a little bit on camera, a little bit from what I'm reading. I trust Petrino. I like the set of wide receivers you've got. I think offensively they'll be a lot better than last year. But how many points you're going to need to score to win games? Are we talking upper 30s on a routine basis? Because it feels like it's just not a very deep defense. You got some playmakers defensively, but I do worry about the depth.
So I thought they were better defensively, and their numbers reflect that. They made big jumps in a lot of categories yesterday, and I've got all that stuff. And I sit down with Travis Williams about a week ago to write something for Hogs Plus I'm working on. A lot of stuff I'm working on this week, Phil. I think I've got to write five different stories before I can go.
And then you got to go on a long trip.
Yeah, but I want to get all that things. Some of them not done for 3 weeks, but I don't want to have to do them while I'm on my trip. But I think that Travis feels like that they've helped themselves at linebacker, which that is his position. They feel like they're a little faster and they're a lot bigger. They've got guys that have played in good leagues. They've got guys that have made a lot of tackles. They've been able to see their technique. They saw them play against their offensive line, which they think is much improved, and saw them tackle big running backs, some 230 guys, 240 guys, 3 or 4 of them. So they think they know what they've got on defense. And I think that until the Auburn game and the Missouri game, they held their own, and they were improved in turnovers, and they forced some turnovers this spring against their own offense. So I'm not sure that I look at this defense with kind of a worrisome take. But I'm not saying they're going to win a championship or they're going to win 8 or 9 games, but I think that they will be able to do some things to give some help to this offense, and that's what you have to do. You're not going to win games in the SEC with offense. You're not going to outscore people. You're going to have to stop them. You have to slow them down. You're going to have to lengthen the games. You're going to have to play sound in special teams. Let's see what their kicking game is like. They're changing kickers. Those are things that have to shake out before they go to Stillwater. You cannot go to Stillwater and win with the field goal kicker that misses twice. He's going to have to make 3 or 4 field goals. That's part of how you get to 35 or 38 or 41. It's making some field goals.
Clay, who are the pass rushers on this team outside of Landon Jackson?
Well, I think Nico Davier, and I can't pronounce the starts with the J. I think he looked pretty good in the spring game. That when I watched some of the practices, I think they've got some pass rushers.
The kid you're referring to he was the FCS start, Junkaj.
Correct.
Anton Junkaj.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to say his last name. They've got defensive ends that I think belong in the SEC. I don't know that they have anybody that matches, say, Jeffcoat, in ability and size. That guy needs to stay healthy and have a good year for Arkansas. I mean, it's like, how much time we got? We're closing in on the segment.
We got a couple minutes.
Okay, to me, this is what happens with Arkansas football. There has to be a bell cow in the defensive line emerge, or you're going to have to try to outscore people. And that's a losing formula. It just doesn't happen. It's too much pressure on your play caller, too much pressure on your quarterback, too much pressure on other pieces of your offense. And if you go back through history and you say, well, when has Arkansas been great? Well, they had Lloyd Phillips, defensive tackle, won the national championship. Well, that was a 3-year run where they beat Texas every year. It's not a coincidence. You got Lloyd Phillips and Texas can't score. Score a bunch is what I mean. But they won all 3 games. Then you get Dan Hampton in the middle 70s, and he's a bell cow. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, right? The NFL Hall of Fame. And then 88, 89, when you win Southwest Conference championships back to back, you got Wayne Martin. I mean, there's not a better defensive tackle. I mean, he played 14 years for the Saints, and his own leads them in just about every sack category or whatever. I mean, he did the same things at Arkansas. And then you get into the Petrino time or in the Bielema time, and you got Jamal Anderson, you've got Trey Flowers. I mean, those are big time players. They had Jake Beckett at defensive end, made a bunch of sacks. So this is the kind of player, Landon Jackson, that's the kind of player that makes a difference at Arkansas.
Yeah.
And there's not very many years where you have one like that.
Well, I know the hope is that Anton Junkaj can take some of that FCS production and have it translate to the SEC. Maybe not 15 sacks, but if you get half that, you'd be pretty happy with it. And, I like the idea of Cameron Ball and Eric Gregory and Kiwi Rose playing there in the middle of the defensive tackle. Experience and size, and they've been good stopping the run at times, too. Yep. Someone on the outside, though, whether it's a young Charlie Collins or a Quincy Rhodes Jr., to help out on that outside. Or like you'd mentioned, I like Nico DeVilliers as well. Somebody's going to have to step up that hasn't produced yet at a consistent level or even played at all in Division I FBS SEC football, with the exception of Landon Jackson. We got your calls and texts coming up as well. If you got opinions on what we were just discussing, 877-377-6963, the McLarty Daniel hotline. We'll be back and wrap up our first hour right after this.
This is Halftime. The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Warning, warning, attention all homeowners. Hi, this is Justin at West Termite Pest and Lawn. It's definitely bug season and we are priced to earn your business. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Call today for a free evaluation, 479-782-7291. West Termite Pest and Lawn, protecting your home, health, and peace of mind.
All services performed with children and pets in mind.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Make dinner good tonight with Hardee's new chicken tender platters. Crunchy, juicy tenders, all dipped in buttermilk and hand-breaded. Served with garlic toast, fries, slaw, your choice of dipping sauce, and an ice-cold beverage. At Hardee's, dinner's ready when you are with new hand-breaded chicken platters. Delicious, down to the very last crumb. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Order ahead on the Hardee's app. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I was once out strolling one very hot summer's day, when I thought I'd lay myself down to rest in a big field of tall grass. I lay there in the sun and felt it caressing my face as I fell asleep and dreamed.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And the Hall of Famer Clay Henry is with us here on Halftime today, and a short segment for a little bit of halftime homework update. I feel really good. We assigned Christian Blazing Saddles C movie for the weekend. C Brooks, I guess in this case. Christian, I spoke with my dad over the weekend, and we was just celebrating Mel Brooks' 98th birthday. He said Blazing Saddles is the one movie that doesn't hold up for him. I said to him, I don't know if I can be your son any longer, if you're really going to tell me that honestly. What'd you think of Blazing Saddles?
It was just so funny. Like, everything was so funny. Like,
some of the jokes nowadays, like you said, would be considered kind of out there.
But you get canceled for half of them.
But it doesn't change the fact that they're just funny. I mean, if you don't look at it from a, bad point of view, if you just look at it as a funny movie, it's enjoyable to watch.
Well, it's partially written by Richard Pryor. So that'd be where some of those non-genteel jokes might come from. Of course, Brooks also really good at writing non-genteel things as well. And it's got a little sports bent. You don't know who Alex Karras is, but he is in Canton. He is a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He was also an actor growing up. He was Webster's father on the ABC sitcom, and he's Mongo. So he liked candy and he liked beans. I will say that the campfire scene, the first time I saw Blazing Saddles, I might have been 10. The campfire scene when they're eating beans, I know it's humor meant for a 10-year-old, but I'll be laughing at that until the day I die.
I mean, it's anytime you can have something that makes fun of bodily functions like that, it's good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Beans.
Clay Johnson is right.
Yeah. Beans, the musical fruit, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, we did write songs about that. Yeah. Mongo like beans. Mongo likes movies too. And he got banned from the NFL for a year because Mongo also apparently liked gambling. 877-377-6963 is our McClarty Daniel hotline. As we move into our second hour, Mike Irwin comes up from Pig Trail Nation in about 20 minutes. Back in just a moment on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixins. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, the big weather story is going to be the big time warm up over the next couple of days. Lots of sunshine, our high this afternoon, mid to upper 80s. Clear skies overnight, low in the mid to upper 60s. Tonight, tomorrow, lots of sunshine, our high in the middle 90s. And then Wednesday, a chance of showers, a few scattered thunderstorms, upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 59 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, take it to the house.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
But they even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's go to the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Live on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com into our second hour halftime. Phil Elson, Clay Henry with me, the Hall of Famer, the one and only, the former publisher and editor of Hogs Illustrated. Christian Johnston is in the studio running things, and we'll have Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation in about 15 minutes. Clay, man, NBA free agency just kicks off with an absolute bang over the last really day and a half. Paul George apparently reaching a 4-year deal with the 76ers. Sources are reporting that Isaiah Hartenstein is signing a 3-year deal worth $87 million with Oklahoma City. You got LeBron James apparently opting out of his deal only to re-sign and hope that he can save the Lakers some money so they can get another free agent. We know Klay Thompson will not be re-signing with Golden State. Chris Paul is leaving Golden State to go to San Antonio, and it's been like 36 hours. The NBA and the NFL, they've got this free agency thing down pat. They know exactly how to do this to dominate over the conversation, even when they're not on the court or on the field.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at this, and Matt Jones would be somebody that keeps up with the NBA more than you and I, to see if there was really something in here that impacts the game and that we're going to see a dynasty continued or a dynasty wrecked. I'm not seeing any of that yet. I haven't seen what I consider to be, one of those trades that, is like the Dallas Cowboys and the Vikings did, when they sent Herschel Walker there for, 16 draft picks or whatever it was. I haven't seen anything that I thought, okay, this is riveting. This is just guys getting their money, in my opinion. I mean, and maybe they're deserved. Maybe some of these guys, that's the pay scale. But I haven't seen anything that changed the landscape yet.
Well, I know Philadelphia is hoping that signing Paul George, along with having Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, who's signed an extension on the today, should hopefully help them in their eyes challenge the Boston Celtics. But then again,
I don't think that does it.
That's what the Clippers thought they were going to get when they traded for Paul George and basically traded their next 6 or 7 drafts away.
That was going to be my next point. So Paul George of 10 years ago could do that. The Paul George now, is he going to play 80 games? And he's going to play another, 40 in postseason? I don't think he will. I mean, I think that's a guy that is going to, is going to fight from day to day to be on the floor at his age.
Yeah, he very well might. Chris Paul, the same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
But these are also big names that
they are big
they're
names.
Huge names.
If they're going to play that day, I think it impacts people buying tickets more than it does them winning games.
Well, these leagues are just good at knowing how to stay in the conversation and turn their leagues into 12-month-a-year sport. College sports has become the same thing. I mean, it's become that because we have our portal seasons now. You get your portal season for football after the regular season ends for a month. And then for 15 days after spring ball, you get your portal season for basketball and baseball. Heck, Clay, I think portal season for college baseball is more interesting than Major League Baseball's free agency. That used to be the thing that anybody would talk about in the offseason was baseball hot stove. Who's going where? Who's building this? That's last on the list now. Baseball's never in the conversation during the offseason, and they have trouble getting into the conversation during the season because of the industries that are built around NBA draft and free agency, NFL draft and free agency. And that's the whole idea. People will say that the transfer portal is a bad thing for college sports. It keeps these teams and these sports in fans' conversation all throughout the year. So I'm not one that says because you're talking about it, it's a good thing. But it just actually leads to more interesting conversations about these teams can look like and what they used to look like and why they're leaving.
Phil, I'm an old website publisher. I mean, I was one of the original internet website. We had in the mid-'90s, it was obvious to me that the internet had come and it was going to affect my business. I mail a magazine and it takes 7 days to get there to L.A. or Boston or Canada, where Razorback fans are scattered around. And I was like, well, the internet's I'm going to publish daily stories, maybe 2 or 3 a day. And I found out, what is it that holds the audience? It isn't the results of the games. They know that because of TV and because of the website radio station signals. In other words, you can listen to a game wherever you are in the world through the different apps and whatever. So I'm not giving them news. I'm not giving them analysis would carry the day a little bit. Okay, what carried the day? It is players changing teams. It is coaches changing teams. It is that cycle. So the recruiting time of mid-December until mid-February, when you're signing and committing, back in the days when you just had that one early period. Well, now there's 2 periods. Now there's 3 periods. Now there's 4 periods. When you count the portal. And so the guys that are doing websites, college football websites and basketball, the amount of clicks that they're getting, the amount of page views that they're getting, the amount of traffic, subscription sales during all these cycles. And you're telling me that people don't like it? No, they gotta know there's just as much interest as there ever was, because the sales of subscriptions tells me it is.
Let's take a phone call from Charlie here on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Charlie, how you doing today? And happy Monday.
Happy Monday, guys. How you doing, Clay?
I'm fine, thank you.
Are you sitting in old Matt Jones's chair over there? Or you chilling at the house?
I'm at the house.
Matt's chair is empty today. No one's sitting in it. We're kind of like leaving it open.
Nobody can fill that chair.
There might be some milk and cookies left there for Santa Claus, but we'll see.
I can't fill it. I probably can't even get close to filling it, but I'm going to try to help you guys out with this whole NBA thing. I will say this about Paul George, and I'm going to give him, when you think about and C-Unit, is C-Unit on here?
He's
he can probably back me up. He can back me up on this, but I will say this about Paul. Paul played extremely well. I think he actually played 74 games, Clay, and that's the most he's played. And C-Unit, back me up on this. That might be the most he's played his entire career, which is insane.
Well, that tells you that was an anomaly. You can't expect another anomaly.
No, I agree with that, Clay. I just think they were talking about how he spent a lot of time really working on his body the year before last that he probably should have been doing beforehand. But I will say this about the Clippers. I think Kawhi was him always getting hurt at the wrong times for them was more of an issue than Paul George. That's just me, because Kawhi was supposed to be the guy when they signed him. Oh, my God, coming off a championship with the Raptors, here we go, and it's always something with him. So that's just my take on that, and I'm not taking anything away from Kawhi. He's great when he's on the floor, and same with Paul George. I wanted to ask you guys this, though. Klay Thompson and DeMar DeRozan are out there. And Phil, if you were, some of these other teams, I think with Klay, it's going to come down to the Lakers or the Mavs.
What it appears.
And I don't know about DeRozan, about where he's going to wind up yet, because he can still go too. So my thing is, as LeBron has said, he would take a pay cut if, they brought some pieces in that could help. And see, Unit, this is no knock on your Mavs. I think Klay would fit in slightly better with the Lakers, because what I think J.J. Redick is going to do, he's going to use him similar to how Golden State used him. And let's think of the kind of shooter J.J. Redick was. He's running off screens. He's not, with Dallas, I'm worried about him, just sitting in a corner and spotting up. I think Klay needs to be on the move. That's the kind of shooter he is when he's not near what he once was. We all know that.
Is this the Klay Thompson pre-injury or post-injury we're talking about?
Hey, this is a guy with a fixed knee. That's who he is.
Yeah. Hey, still 18 points a game, but you guys are right. He's nowhere near what he once was, but I still think he can help someone.
Thanks, Charlie.
When I've watched him play, it's the defense that he's not. I mean, he used to be a terror. I mean, it's like you didn't want Steph covering the number one guard, so he did. And I don't see him able to stop, a lead guard anymore.
No, that there's no way that he can.
Yeah, and that's what the teams that were the last four teams in the playoff, I thought they played terrific defense. And they could shut teams down and go on a run. He's like, well, how do you go on a run? Well, you scored 14 in a row. Well, the reason why you scored 14 in a row is the other team didn't score. And that's what Boston could do. That's Minnesota did that. Oklahoma City for a period. Dallas. That's why they were still playing at the end, is they could stop people. And just be careful when you take somebody and you say he can score 18. Well, does he also give up 18? And Klay Thompson is not the defensive terror that he was at one point, where he was deflecting balls for his teammates and they're getting runouts. And, the runouts would lead to threes.
877-377-6963 is our McLarty Daniel hotline. You want to hit on anything about that. We'll break here in a moment. Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation stops by halftime right after this.
This is Halftime.
We are here at the Bud Walton Arena, where it is about as loud as a building could get. The loudest arena to start a game I've ever been in.
This is a hard place. You don't come here expecting to win. Let me tell you that.
The name, the brand, the identity that he brings to a program that has a storied, rich tradition, an outstanding fan base in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in DeQueen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video.
Cause they were too busy watching raindrops fall. The storm was blowing on the peaceful sea. 73 minutes till
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Clay Henry sitting in while Matt Jones is on a soccer-induced vacation, headed to Kansas City for today's USA-Uruguay match, 8 o'clock. I wonder if Mike Irwin will be watching it. He joins us right now on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Mike, of course, from Pig Trail Nation. Mike, how you doing today? Happy Monday and happy July 1st.
Yeah, today's a historic day in the SEC, right? We officially have allowed the Longhorns to come back into this conference that we got away from them years ago, and now, like the Aggies, we have to have them back. And they're coming in bragging. You know, they're automatically going to be everybody's biggest game. That's what their quarterback says.
Well, that was on brand. Isn't that on brand for Quinn Ewers to say this? And independent of what you think of the young man, I think he's a great quarterback with a bright future. But this is exactly what every Texas quarterback has ever thought. I don't know if they've publicly said it or if anybody necessarily like 40 years ago would ask that kind of a question. But I don't think it's true. First of all, I don't think Quinn Ewers knows what everybody's schedule looks like. I think he knows what his schedule looks like. But when you look around, there's no way. And also part of it, Mike, is what do you deem in terms of importance? Is it what the game is on the calendar? Is it where it fits into your schedule against the rest of the league? Like, I would want to say, yeah, Texas is a hugely important game for Arkansas. But, Mike, that's November 16th. There's a lot more that's going to happen before that. I'm looking at Oklahoma State or the A&M game as the most important games for Arkansas.
Certainly early on. But, look, here's what they're going to find out. And I think Arkansas found that out. When you come from a conference where you have one or two big games a year, you're going on a road maybe once or twice a year in front of a big partisan crowd. And you get into this league, and you start going, okay, you win a big game, you think, wow, okay, and then some team you overlook just jumps up and takes you to the woodshed. I mean, you could beat a Georgia, and this is an extreme example, and Mississippi State might beat you the next week. If you go into Starkville thinking, oh, these guys, they can't play, that's 58,000. That's not big. That's the loudest 58,000 you'll ever play in front of in your life with those cowbells. You know, they had it made where they were. Their biggest rival, they didn't really play them on the road. It was a neutral site game. Well, now you're going to have to go to, and I know they've been to Tuscaloosa and they've won, but you're going to have to go to Athens. You're going to have to go to Knoxville. You're going to have to go into Death Valley. And this is happening all the time, not just occasionally. So it's just a brutal league, and I don't think anybody's biggest game except if they are your rival, you know, and there are rivals out there. And, you know, that's going to be, obviously, OU is still going to be a big game for them. But, and I really believe, guys, that the one benefit of this is it is going, Arkansas had to go find rivals when they got into this league. They didn't have any, so they had to go find them. And LSU turned out to be a pretty good rival, and I guess Ole Miss and Auburn from time to time. But now you don't have to go find them, because a lot of the younger people kept trying to tell me back in 2021 that, hey, that's old stuff. That's not that way anymore. Well, okay. Were you there when Arkansas won that game? Did you see what happened? They don't rush the field when you beat Missouri. They rush the field when you beat Texas. So that's one benefit. But I do believe they will come into this league trying to control things. I don't think they're going to be able to, but that's why A&M wanted away from them. I mean, if you think Arkansas fans don't like Texas, go hang out in Aggieville for a while. They hate their guts.
Well, they hate him even more now.
Yes. And what just happened is unprecedented. Imagine if Drinkwitz at Missouri took Missouri right to a national championship game and they come up maybe 3 points short. And the next day, Missouri fans wake up and find out that Hunter Yurachek has hired Drinkwitz to come here. They'd be going bonkers. That's what happened at A&M. And Schlossnagel's walking around going, well, I knew it would be a problem, but I didn't think it would be like this. And now he's backtracking and trying to blame the Aggies AD, saying he pretty much told him he could leave if he wanted to. And the whole thing has just gotten completely crazy. And then Dave Van Horn's reaction to that was, well, the coaches' meetings are going to be pretty interesting. Oh, man. When you bring Texas in, you get drama, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the Aggies also look. I mean, they got rid of a coach in Rob Childress that had some success. I know Dave wasn't too happy of the way that they let him go. They, of course, go back a long time. You know, they just look at who the athletic director at A&M is. He's a former Nebraska football player that was trying to get away from Nebraska because of slowdowns in construction on renovating the football stadium. And that's exactly what it seemed that Schlossnagle was trying to portray as why he's trying to get away from A&M. You know, I mean, I just think the guy probably needs to stop talking unless he's talking to recruits and other coaches he's trying to hire. Because every time he opens his mouth right now, it's almost like he's refuting something that we can obviously see was happening. This guy's got designs on the Texas coaching job really for probably the last 6 or 7 years, but really in the last 3-4 weeks before he even took the job, everybody knew this thing was in the works for a month.
And keep in mind, he's the one that popped off a month and a half ago and laid that mysterious team in the SEC that's bugging dugouts. And I'm not going to say who they are, but, you know, he implied somebody was in big trouble. Well, whoever that is apparently isn't in big trouble, and we still don't know who it was.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just a bizarre statement in the middle of a normal press conference.
Yeah, Mike, this Clay Henry, then they go to the College World Series and end up with one of those Tennessee's watches in their dugout. And because all they had to do was walk across the field and hand it to him. Instead, they had to turn all those off and make all the hand signals by hand. But And it's like the Aggies will be Aggies forever and ever. And he is now a full-blooded Aggie, just with the things that he's doing. It's Aggie-like stuff.
Yeah, but now he's at Texas.
I know, but he's still acting like an Aggie.
But think about Clay. Now let's focus on Texas. Okay, the program is down. They're about to enter the SEC. They don't want to have a bad baseball program. Is that the way you do it? You look at your arch rival who's got a good program and say, well, we'll just take yours. Come on. And I know they were probably thinking, well, if we get him, we'll get a bunch of his players. So we'll just have a ready-made instant team. And
well, you have to look a little deeper than that, Mike, because you've got former TCU guy that is going and getting his coach. So it makes perfect sense to him because he's like, they took my coach, now I'm going to take their coach. So it's it's the golden rule: do unto others as you'd have them do to you.
But what does this portray to potential recruits? I mean, how does that? So the idea, okay, so I got the job I've always wanted. I'm going to stay here the rest of my life. But can you still trust what this man tells you in situations where you ask him a point blank question? That's what I take about here. Is I don't know if I can trust even what some of his former players have said about him.
The money.
This has
it's
not
about the money.
Of course,
it's the same thing.
Of course, it's about the. But is it about the money for the recruits?
They're about the money too.
That's the question. Is it about the money for recruits?
Now it is. It is for sure.
But are they still, because I haven't checked, are they still talking about hiring the one assistant he didn't take with him?
They hired him.
He is the new head coach.
Okay.
And he's taking.
So was that done?
Yeah, I think he's hiring the Washington head coach as his pitching coach too.
Was that done to get those guys back out of the portal?
Absolutely.
I think that's the lone reason why they hired him, because
100%.
They missed on 3 or 4 other established head coaches.
It's like this is the only thing that will save us right now. And we don't know whether he can be a head coach or not. I mean, it's not any different than Tennessee hiring Tony Vitello. There was no guarantee he could be a head coach. I mean, that was a reach. And the same thing with this guy. He's it's a young coach, and we'll see if it works or not.
Do you think
we don't have any clue whether he can be a head coach?
Do you think I've seen this comparison made? And initially, I was thinking this reminds me of Sharon Moore taking over Michigan. But it's a little bit different. Is this comparable, Mike, to Dabo Swinney's ascension from interim head coach at Clemson to sitting head coach? He was only a wide receivers coach. He'd never even been a coordinator, and he's got 2 national championships. And I don't think anybody saw that coming when he was hired.
Well, I mean, it's always a shot in the dark, and sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't. Every great head coach had to get a first job somewhere, and who knew, when you hire Saban for the first time. I mean, it happens. Yeah. But the key is you got to get the right guy. And I guess what they looked at here was, I mean, they're going to have a decision to make next year if this doesn't work. But I guess they did what they felt like to keep these guys, on the team, and it makes sense. It just makes them kind of look like, yeah, you took our coach, but we're taking the guy you didn't want. That's the way it looks to everybody else.
I think that he could have taken that job. He could have. He could have gone to Texas. There wasn't like that was blocked. When you haven't been a head coach and you get your first job, and I talked to Frank Broyles about this, and he says a head coach starting when he gets out of bed, and he says, I don't count if you're going to drink coffee and put cream in it or not, or you're going to brush your teeth with this or that. But he said, as soon as you're done with that stuff, he says, you make decisions. And you make decisions that affect, your 120 players and your 40 to 50 people that work on your staff, from managers to, janitors to, everybody all the way up to your coordinators, and you make decisions. He said there's about 85 a day. He says the head coach has to be right on 82 out of 85. And I was like, really? He goes, well, he says, if you make more than one decision wrong in that, the next day you make 10 again. You make 10 again. And he says, after 3 weeks, you've proven that you're not a head coach. And he says nobody understands that until they're a head coach, how many decisions and what the pressure is as you make mistakes in those decisions. Some of them are little bitty decisions, but they're precedent taking. And he said, we just don't know what a head coach is going to do until you're there.
Well, and we're also living in a new world, at least temporarily. And that is, you can take somebody's coach and under the right circumstances, take a bunch of his players too. Now, a lot of Razorback fans were trying to claim that's what Arkansas did to Kentucky, so what's the difference? Well, the difference is Calipari hadn't been there 3 years. He'd been there 15. He didn't just go to the national championship game, and about a third or more of their fans wanted him gone anyway. So I don't think you can compare.
Gone. Yeah.
So not the same thing, but we saw what happens. You lose a guy like that, and he will take a bunch of people with him because that's the way it works right now.
Mike, Mike, we're right up against the break, so we'll have to leave it there. I appreciate you hopping on, man. Thanks so much. Have a great week and a good holiday.
Okay.
Happy July, Mike.
Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation joins us each Monday here on Halftime. It's a fun conversation, and certainly want to open up a little bit more of that in a little bit. 877-377-6963 calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a minute.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
This is Halftime. Do you want to see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on November 10th? Can you eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime? It's the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and HitThatLine.com. Go to HitThatLine.com for more details and let's secure your seat at the table.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel, 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South C Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Gonna knock you right in the head. You better get yourself together. Soon you're gonna be dead.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And we've got to wish a great event. I guess we've already given him congratulations. Matt Zimmerman gets his Arkansas Sportscaster of the Year award tonight in Greensboro, North Carolina. So I spoke to Zim earlier this morning. He's out there. He made the trip. That's great. And that's a great event to be a part of. Alyssa Orange and Kyle Deckelbaum split the award last year. I think it was in Winston-Salem last year. For years, it was in tiny little Salisbury, North Carolina, which made it feel like you were visiting Mayberry. But now it's all in this big posh resort right outside Greensboro. So hope Zim has fun. And I just saw, Clay, I saw this is a great looking, this is a really cool photo here. I see Kevin Bohannon put it out. I guess he's at Fenway Park. There are 3 Razorback pitchers that will be playing today in Fenway Park. Part of the Cape Cod League. Gage Wood, Parker Coyle, and Ben Bybee playing for Byrne at the Cape Cod League today. That's unique. Not every day you get to go onto the field of a stadium that opened in 1912.
Bill, if you ever wanted to take a trip, this would be a great time to go to that area. And there's so much fun stuff to do up there. I mean, you don't even have to go to Fenway. I mean, just go around and watch those Cape Cod League games, the crowds. You can get up close and personal. Have you ever done that?
No, I need to. I know
I've heard coaches talk about it and said it's the most relaxed setting to watch.
DVH said last week he's going. I guess he might be there this week to watch some of his players.
Yeah, and you can get right against the screen. I mean, they'll have 1,000 or whatever those at those parks, but it won't be like a college baseball setting that they came out of. And the competition, and you can sit right beside Major League scouts. They're all there. I mean, there are so many top level players there. The scouts have to go, and it's a chance to see them, at their highest level. I'm talking about the players they've had all spring to get ready for this, and their skills are honed in. Or they might be working on some new pitches that you want to see. You want to see, can this guy throw a split finger? He's never thrown one.
Yeah, that's where you experiment a little bit.
Yep.
That's for sure. No, I've never been to the Cape Cod League, but I would put that, I don't know, maybe on a bucket list. I'm headed up to the Baseball Hall of Fame later on in the month.
The food is outstanding.
Quite a few hours away from Cape Cod, though. More like halfway there.
You can eat lobster every night.
Pull it right out of the ocean and put it on your plate.
Yep. I mean, you can go to the docks and buy them, have a condo. I covered the NCAA Women's Golf Championships there. That was five nights on the Cape. And we went to another reporter. We went and bought 4 2-pound lobsters every night. And then we steamed them and then we ate them. Oh, gosh, it was so good.
Did you see? So I see this Michael Anderson just announced his commitment to Arkansas baseball to transfer in from Rhode Island, where he played infield, hit 13 homers, knocked in 41 runs last year. And they've had some they've had some veteran players announce their commitment to Arkansas in the last few days. You had the outfielder from Fresno State, Rocco Pepe. That's a guy that, honestly, I think Rocco Pepe, like I grew up in the neighborhood next to where Rocco Pepe's from, along with Tito and Paulie and Rocco all together. Carson Bowles is Division II All-American. And I wonder, you're bringing these guys in. You got a couple of really great JUCO players that are part of the incoming transfer class that they have to be worried that they're going to lose these guys to the draft. Thinking Brett Iredale from New Mexico Junior College, Justin Thomas from Florida Southwestern. Both of these guys had huge numbers in junior college, and I know that the talk is they could go in the draft. So, I think that they're trying to build a little bit of added depth in case they lose those two, and potentially maybe lose Colton Reynolds from Crowder to the draft as well. It's a big incoming class they've got. What do I have here? I've got 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's 10 Division I transfers and 5 junior college transfers, and only 2 pitchers. So
you read the stats, Phil, and those power numbers, home runs and RBI. The thing that jumped off the charts, and I'm not looking at them now, but I just remember them individually as their commitments popped. And I'm looking at Whole Hog Sports and stuff, Matt Jones, and over I saw big numbers for doubles, and which gives you 2 indications. One, that they're gap to gap guys, can spray it around. Those are doubles hitters, and they can run. And that was what Dave really emphasized. I want doubles hitters, and I want guys that can run.
The other idea is that sometimes if you get a little bigger and a little stronger from one year to the next, doubles turn into home runs.
They certainly do. Yeah. And you when you're doing this recruiting stuff, you can zero in on a lot of things, and you want to find out, what league did they play in? What are the size of these parks? What's the wind? I mean, you can, I talked with Todd Butler before, like he would talk about a specific junior college. He's like, that place sits downwind and it's short poles, both down. And it's like if you'll pull it hard, you're going to hit a lot of home runs right in this park. And he says, so you have to kind of factor that in. Will he do that at the next level? Or you got a guy that played in a big park, played in a cavern, and he played into the wind. And when he has power numbers, you can double them. So it's not an exact science, but there is some things that all home runs, all doubles are not created equal.
7 outfielders just in the transfer class alone. That does count the junior college players, and of course you'll have some outfielders in the incoming class, but it's pretty rare for a true freshman to get out there and play on a routine basis. And then you got to potentially add in Kendall Diggs, maybe. Like David said last week, he played virtually the entire season with a torn labrum. He is eligible for the draft. I think he was at the Major League Draft Combine in Arlington recently, but I don't think it's a given that he does get drafted.
No, and it just kind of you remind yourself, well, what was Peyton Stovall like 2 years ago when he tried to play hurt, and it was a disaster. The same thing happened again with Kendall Diggs.
It's the same injury.
Same injury, same type injury. The severity, they won't know until they go in to fix it. But it's something that they can fix, and he could have, a monster year next year. He really could. The sad part is he won't make any more money for having that monster year. They're gonna, he's gonna get lowballed now because he's hurt, or next year because he has no leverage. It's sad.
Yeah, and he very well could end up making a little bit of money coming back to Arkansas. But,
Good.
yeah.
NIL money. Yeah.
NIL money, but also just the idea of what the draft could have been like for him if his numbers would have improved from last year to this year. And he's not first round or anything, but scouts love left-handed batters who can hit it over the fence, that can turn on a fastball, drive in some runs, have a good idea of the strike zone. And you didn't see that from him this year, because I think that shoulder had a lot to do with it. I think that's one of the reasons why he changed his approach. His approach looked different, and I think in his mind he knew that his body was limited for what it could do. You saw that with Kent. But the difference with Stovall is he could barely throw the ball any longer.
Yeah. Oh, he couldn't play baseball. That was basically what you saw. No strength, couldn't throw, couldn't play defensively. What I saw with Kendall is that he did not have the quick bat to hit the inside pitch. The power drive down the line that he would hit that would go right into the screen.
As a sophomore, that was his pitch.
Yeah, he could not hit that pitch, and he knew it, so he took it. If you can't turn on it, there's no use swinging at it. And you saw there were pitches like he just took his pitch. Well, he couldn't hit it anymore. And so guess where they threw? And he was waiting for somebody that was trying to hit that pitch that it drifted off into the middle of the plate. Then he could hit it to center field or to right center. But he could not pull it down the line. His bat just, those home runs that he hit into the bullpen, they disappeared this year.
Hey, don't forget, you got to go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks if you want a chance to win a $2,000 retail fireworks show that we're giving away on our website right now. Kids, grandkids, cul-de-sac, never going to be happier. And also go to usafireworks.org. Learn what Chris Brewer and USA Fireworks can do for you to enjoy your holiday. Coming up, of course, later on this week, USA Fireworks help the school fundraisers, adoption funding, city functions, and much more. usafireworks.org, and you can find out how they can help you. We'll be back and wrap up our second hour of halftime in just a couple of minutes.
This is halftime.
Hey, Todd Richardson for Jim. They have several locations in the Arkansas area, but I specifically want to talk to you about Jim Mart number 10. Great deli. My goodness. Great lunch, great dinner. But have you had the breakfast yet? It's the best in town. And they have that convenient drive-through window. So when you're heading north or south on 540, take exit number 6 for Jim Mart number 10. 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith. Jim, the leading gas station and convenience store in the area.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Got a short segment. We got Dale and Fort Smith on hold. Dale, you're here on the McClarty Daniel hotline. I appreciate your phone call. What's going on, Dale?
Oh, man, just driving down the road, listening to y'all.
Very good. What do you want to talk? What do you got? Yeah, go ahead.
I had a question. This might be a stupid question for y'all, but for me, I'm not a baseball guru like you are. But my question is I see on Twitter, you know, some of these clips for you're talking about Gackle and all them in the Cape Cod League, and of course Kerstead was in the minor leagues, and I don't know, did you see where he? Did you ever see where he had a grand slam?
Yeah,
Saturday?
grand slam the other night. He had an RBI double yesterday, and they're lost to Texas.
Oh man, absolutely. But here's my question. My question is that okay, the play can we, when these college players now, can they play in the minor leagues and still come back for eligibility?
No.
Or are they done?
No, they're done. Once you get drafted and you sign on paper, you're done. And you go, then it's up to the major league team to where they're going to send you. And they're going to send you to a minor league affiliate. If not at first, they're going to send you to their complex, wherever they have spring training. But yeah, once you put your name on paper with a major league team, you no longer have college eligibility. And when you're playing, and this might be where you have a little confusion, Dale, when you're playing it for a minor league team, you're essentially playing for a major league team. It's the major league team that's paying your salary. You're just not on the big league roster. So, yeah, by the way, and I saw Kerstead, he hit that grand slam the other day got in the lineup yesterday, and the whole conversation yesterday for Sunday Night Baseball ESPN was, hey, how about these Baltimore Orioles and how they've grown up and they're not just the flash in the pan that they were last year, and they just got Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman and Jackson Holiday and everybody. They go out and get smoked 11-2. And the guy that I don't know how many people have been talking about him all that much, it's all Paul Skeens right now. But Wyatt Langford, who was the 4th overall pick last year, he's also the star of yesterday's game for Texas by hitting for the cycle as a rookie. Pretty impressive. Goes from center field, Florida, runner-up, to Skeens at LSU. I don't know when Texas and Pittsburgh are on the schedule against each other. At some point this year they are. And now Langford is, he's basically leading Texas to a win over the Baltimore Orioles yesterday. And it was great to see Kjerstad with that grand slam, too. That's a kid that's certainly worth rooting for. I watched a couple of Pirate games over the weekend. Skeens is worth watching, absolutely. 2 games in a row gives up a home run of the leadoff batter and then finishes 6 innings with just that 1 run. It's just the Pirates can't find a way to score any runs for him. I saw something in that game on Saturday against the Braves that I thought was unforgivable. I don't know how this happens. O'Neal Cruz, the young, talented shortstop for Pittsburgh, didn't start Saturday's game, but he got a chance to pinch hit. I think it was the 7th inning tie game. Cruz has the kind of power he can hit a home run on any count. Heck, he hit a homer yesterday when Pittsburgh beat Atlanta. Well, the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes, and he took his sweet time getting into the batter's box. He was called out on a 3rd strike for the pitch timer. As a pinch hitter, that could be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard for a pinch hitter, other than maybe forgetting your bat when you get up into the batter's box. 877-377-6963 calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Clay Henry's with us here as we get into our 3rd hour of halftime, and we'll be back right after this.
USA Fireworks is a leading firework wholesaler in Arkansas with over 35 years of experience, located in Mulberry, right off 64. They offer an impressive selection of top-of-the-line products from the best brands like World Class, Brothers, Winda, Raccoon, Cutting Edge, and Black Cat, ensuring a spectacular display for every occasion. Whether it's a big city event or just a family gathering, USA Fireworks is dedicated to delivering the best show at the best value. If you're interested in buying a wholesale fireworks show, visit our website, usafireworks.org.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Come out to the 2024 Freedom Fest, July 4th from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. in Greenwood. This year's festival is packed with craft and artisan vendors, food trucks, kids' activities, and live music. See special performances by Mike Ryan, The Bynum Project, Mr. Cabbagehead and the Screaming Radishes, and Millennial Jukebox. And at dusk, witness the largest fireworks display in the region. Freedom Fest 2024 in Greenwood. Hosted by Greenwood A&P Commission.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
What's on your to-do list today? Does it include looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? If so, come by and see us at Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer. Whatever your day brings, whatever job it is you need to complete, Wacker Newson Equipment is up to the task, and Sharp Equipment is here to help. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, the big weather story is going to be the big time warm up over the next couple of days. Lots of sunshine, our high this afternoon, mid to upper 80s. Clear skies overnight, low in the mid to upper 60s. Tonight, tomorrow, lots of sunshine, our high in the middle 90s. And then Wednesday, a chance of showers, a few scattered thunderstorms, upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 59 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Smith, I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
That's even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. Third hour, halftime on this first day of July. Phil Elson, Clay Henry sitting in for Matt Jones as Matt takes his talents up to Kansas City for USA Uruguay soccer, something I'll be tuned into later on in the evening. We'll be talking with Nate Olson in about 15 minutes from Scorebook Live. Going to do a little argument about what would Barry Bonds do against Satchel Paige and some other things going on in the world of Arkansas high school athletics. Now, this does not involve Arkansas high school athletics, but it does involve a kid who had committed to Arkansas from Cass, Georgia. Maybe you had seen his billboards that had been plastered around Northwest Arkansas about a year ago. Bear McWhorter, who had committed to the Razorbacks in August of last year, over the weekend reopened his commitment and decommits from Arkansas. He's getting offers from all of the big name schools, Bama, Florida State, Penn State, Florida and the likes, Texas, a bunch of other schools. I guess he's still going to consider the Razorbacks, but this just, I don't know if he put up that many billboards in State College or Austin or Louisville or Tallahassee. The billboards were there right around Interstate I-49. I remember driving past them. Hey, Coach Pittman, I want to be a Razorback, or I want to be a Hog, I think is what it said, if I remember correctly. So maybe he still wants to be a Hog, but it just, I don't know, it kind of hits a little bit differently. Like decommitments happen all the time. Happen all the time. You have to expect that. Somebody that commits to you for a class that's 2 years from now, you have to think, who knows if he's actually going to make it here. But Clay, the kid literally advertised himself across Northwest Arkansas, so this just feels a little bit different.
Yeah, so, what's the old saying in the SEC? It just means more. It costs more, too.
Yes.
And he's found out how much he's worth. So it's like, let's start over again. I don't think he's going to Arkansas.
I would doubt it, too.
Yeah, me too.
It's pretty rare that you commit, decommit, and then
Alabama's one of the teams that's really, really interested in him. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the new coach is recruiting about like the old coach did. He's really recruiting, and it's national. It's as much national as Alabama's. Of course, he's got all the ties on the West Coast, and he's bringing those players, and he's taking advantage of the Pac-12 falling apart and going to the Big Ten. It's like, well, if you're willing to travel, you're willing to travel to the SEC. We got as much money as anybody.
Yeah, well, I would expect that. It's just odd. It's just, you know, when he was putting those
bills. Odd is a word that you can use for that.
For everything in college sports now.
Yes, it is.
But it's like he obviously, like in his mind as a sophomore, he was like, I'm going to be a Razorback. This is the coach I want to play for. This is the place I want to go to. I'm going to pick where I go. And then in that 12 month, not even 12 months, just, you know, the letters start showing up, the phone calls start happening, the texts start happening. You maybe have a sense of what your worth is in NIL, and that you might be able to go to a place that you view as a better place to play football anyway. And it's just hey, I mean, how old was I as a sophomore in high school? I guess I would have been 14.
15. 15.
Well, I was a little younger than everyone else. At 14, I made a lot of decisions that a year later I might have done a little bit differently too. So it's just odd to see.
You say that. This is interesting to me. So I can remember sitting with Dave Van Horn 3-4 years ago in different settings. One of them would have been the Swatters Club. And then again later it was in his office, and he and I were talking about recruiting. And he's like, Clay, he says, I'm talking to, this is several years ago, he says, I'm talking to 9th graders and maybe 10th graders. And he said, he committed Heston Kjerstad as a 9th grader.
Oh, and he was a little guy too.
And he was like 5'9", 5'10". But his dad's 6'4". He's got 2 older brothers that are 6'4". He's like, I think I've got a predictor here that he's got this beautiful swing. But Dave was like, this is frustrating. He says, just guess what? I've got daughters that are this age, and they've got, you know, boys that are coming by to see them, and I see their maturity level, and I'm asking them if they want to come play for the Razorbacks.
Right.
He said they're not ready to. There is no predictor of what they're going to be emotionally, physically, or mentally to play college baseball.
Well, it's like let them learn how to shave first, for crying out loud.
Yeah. So in some ways, what they're doing now is favorable. I'm going now, and I'm not recruiting nearly as many juniors, you know, high school juniors. I'm a few, and there's some that you know that they're in your backyard. You're paying attention to them. But they're going after juniors in college. It's a whole, you know what they're going to be. They've already proven whether they're going to get a DUI or not. They already proven what their grades are going to be like. They've shown you that they're men, and they're going to fit in your program. You can tell when they make their visits and they walk in. You can have a conversation with them. They don't sit there and bug eye when you ask them about something. So it's a different world. And you used the word odd a while ago. I don't know if it is weird. It is unbelievable.
Let's take a phone call from Terry in Alma on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Terry, thanks for calling. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Great, thank you.
Miserable Monday. At least it's a holiday weekend.
It's only 3-day week, man. It's going to be great.
We'll go with that. Going back to the previous caller about the baseball league and so forth, I got 2 questions. First, what is the Cape Cod League? Is it a minor league?
Terry, the Cape Cod League is simply a league for college players to go use a wooden bat when their college league is over. It's not professional. It's not college. I guess it's somewhere in between. I don't think these kids make money to play there. They have their housing taken care of for them. And it's something that's been going on for, like 60, 70 years, if not longer than that. It's a high level of baseball, but there are leagues like this all across the country, thinking Northwoods League or New England Collegiate Baseball League. There's one in the Carolinas. There's another one in Kansas. There's another one in California. I think we did have one in Northwest Arkansas briefly and might still have some remnants of it. It's not minor league baseball. It's just college baseball with a wooden bat after the college season is over.
Okay, well, that explains that to me. Thank you so much. But, so I take my order. Man, he should have never put up them billboards if he wasn't fully committed to Arkansas. It just shows what, I hate to say character, but, money's one thing, but commitment's another.
Well, I also wonder, Terry, what was in the young man's mind to feel like I've got to go do this as a sophomore? I got to get this coach's attention as a sophomore, and I'm going to make that commitment. I think in his mind, I can only get in his mind and guess here. He must not have expected that he's going to be getting offers from Alabama or from Florida State or from Texas. To me, this was about who he thought he was in his mind as a sophomore, but I don't know, the parents got to step in at some point and be like, look, you're different. You're going to be different in a year. But they obviously made that decision, and now they've made another decision. And as you look at these, the parents must have plenty of money. They must have a lot of money to be able to throw the tens of thousands of dollars that it will cost to put your son's face on digital billboards across Northwest Arkansas, and then for that commitment to not mean a thing. They must be rich.
Okay, the final comment is, we got Calipari as our basketball coach. Is there any truth about Simon coming to Arkansas?
I don't know, where did you come up with this? Where is the rumor that Nick Saban is coming to Arkansas? It's the first I'd heard of it. I think they got a head coach right now. And I'm not digging into the conversation as to what's going to happen in October yet, because it's July 1st right now. Brian in Ozark will take us into the break. Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. I just wanted to comment, and see what you think. But, I can't pronounce the name, but the baseball coach that left A&M, what's his name?
Schlossnagel.
Yeah. So, as much as I do not like Texas A&M, I think it's funny what Texas did to them. But look at the recruiting that dude has already got, man. He's got kids that have decommitted from A&M, and he's getting top talent all over the country. Texas is going to be a beast for the SEC next year in baseball. Don't you think?
I think they were good this last year. I have no idea if they're going to be a beast or not. I know Schlossnagel got A&M to Omaha's first year in College Station, so he does have the track record of building a really good team in the first year. So would it be a surprise? No, I don't think it'd be a surprise. I don't know what the portals look like for him just yet. I'm sure it's been fine.
Yeah, they've got some major right-handed pitchers coming out of the transfer portal. But, Texas was all right. They made a regional last year, but they lost to Louisiana to get beat out of the regional. But they weren't top tier like they were a couple of years ago.
I think that.
Anyway. Do what?
No, Brian, it's good to hear from you. I think that this hire had more to do with a couple of things. One, I think it had to do with David Pierce and some disorganization on the coaching staff. He had a lot of comings and goings as far as pitching coaches and other assistants over the last couple of years. But I think at the top of the list, it was an athletics director that wanted to hire his friend and a coach that wanted to work for that friend. If this was not in the works for the last 3-4 months, I'd be surprised. Not just a month, 3-4 months, I'd be really surprised. I appreciate Brian giving us a call there on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Remember, great deals at all 6 locations at McLarty Daniel in Springdale or Bentonville, and always online, McLartyDaniel.com. Nate Olson from Scorebook Live will stop by halftime right after this.
This is Halftime.
This is the Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast presented by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company.
Don't expect this to be overnight. Don't expect that this thing's going to be solidified. But I guarantee you don't do what these guys have done over the years without having plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, and all 4 of them are going to be really good plans.
Subscribe to the Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You need money. You get a job. Turns out that job doesn't pay near enough for the nonsense it puts you through every day. You want to move fast, but the clock moves slow. You're smart, though. You know machines. You want to work at a place as fast as you. You call Medley Equipment Company. They need a technician, and they'll teach you everything you need to know to be the best, with pay raises all along. Because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get financing as low as 0.9% for 36 months with approved credit and $3,500 in factory discount. The Buick Envision. It's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
If you've been affected by the recent storms, Crabtree RV Center is here to help. Whether you need to rent or purchase an RV while your home is under repair, or you need repairs done to an existing RV, whatever your needs are, Crabtree RV is here for our Northwest Arkansas community. If you've been affected by the recent storms, Crabtree RV Center is here to help. Whether you need to rent or purchase an RV while your home is under repair, or you need repairs done to an existing RV, whatever your needs are, Crabtree RV is here for our Northwest Arkansas community.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Just got home from Illinois, locked the front door, oh boy. Got to sit down, take a rest on the porch. Imagination sets in, pretty soon I'm singing. Do, look at time doing cartwheels, statue wearing high heels. Look at all the creatures dancing on the lawn. Dinosaur controller, listening to Buck Owens. Looking out my back door.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Guests join us on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Good friend Nate Olson joining us from Scorebook Live today. Do a little bit of conversation on a little bit of football, a little bit of baseball as well. And Nate, how's your summer going? And happy July 1st.
Yeah, happy July, guys. Been great. Was on vacation last week in beautiful Dauphin Island, and now the countdown to football season officially begins to me. 1 week of dead period, and then So we're really kind of starting early, but next week, I think really the official countdown begins when we're open for business and guys are hitting the weight room again in the 7-on-7 field.
So I think there's a commitment scheduled for later on in the week from Omarion Robinson, safety out of Parkview. Arkansas is one of the final 6. What do you think the chances are here?
Well, I don't think great. We could do a whole show about these prognostications and these rankings, and I don't always believe them, but some outlets are coming out saying Oklahoma. The trend hasn't been good. They did get a good recruit out of Parkview a couple weeks ago, but it hasn't been trending great for Arkansas. There's been a lot of decommits and all that. So I don't want to be pessimistic, but I would be surprised if Arkansas is the pick there.
So Montario Elston is also going to be making his announcement too. Hogs are in his top 3. K-State and Mizzou look like the other options for him. So if they don't get Omarion Robinson, hope maybe they get Montario Elston, running back. You could always take another one of those.
They could get him. I think that's a possibility. I know Kansas State is really high on his list, and he likes how they've used smaller running backs like Deuce Vaughn. But Arkansas could be in play there. I don't know. If a lot of these recruits are just a little bit worried about Pittman, because I think it'd be natural to worry about that. I mean, if you like Pittman and that's who you're going there for, and I think it's a definite chance he's not going to be there the year after. So, I think that's in the minds of these guys. I think Carius Kern, he went to LSU, and Marcus Wimberly was committed to Arkansas, then decommitted and went to Oklahoma. And I think that's a trend. And we'll see. I mean, if Robinson picks Arkansas, maybe that's good news for the rest of the process. If he doesn't, I think that's just one more kind of black eye for Arkansas. And Pittman's been very vocal about the NIL situation. I think the NIL situation was a big key to LSU with Kern, and a big key with Courtney Crutchfield in Mizzou last year. He was committed to Arkansas. Looked like that was going to be a really good recruiting class in Arkansas with Braylon Russell, and then he decommitted Crutchfield. Wanted to mention, I mentioned the Parkview quarterback Quentin Murphy. He was from Robinson. He's a 3-star. He's committed to Arkansas. He committed a few weeks ago. I mentioned that. I didn't mention his name, but we'll see how that all goes. I think this is one of the biggest commitment ceremonies of the summer, and because I think if these two guys both commit to Arkansas, they make a major statement. If they don't, especially Robinson, like I said, I think that doesn't bode well for Arkansas the rest of the way with some of the other in-state recruits and some of the other, guys around the country. You just had the guy Bear McWhirter, just decommit. But it just seems like it's been a lot of bad news for Arkansas, especially when it pertains to 4-star guys. Getting some 3-star guys, but need to have the 4 stars. And I believe what Houston Nutt said a long time ago, going to probably get his reaction on this too, as far as it pertains to now. But I think Arkansas, to be good, needs to get as many of the Arkansas prospects as they can. And I'm working on a column right now. I kind of feel like Arkansas basketball, prep basketball, actually has more talent than prep football, which makes it even more important for Arkansas football to get these guys, because it doesn't seem like there's as many as there used to be. So you've got to try to, if you've got a guy like Robinson, you've got to get him, because you may not get the same type of player in Texas. The advantage you have of having a 4-star DB here is that he's grown up here and maybe he likes Arkansas. Murphy was a big Arkansas fan, always wanted to, but he's a 3-star. He's not a sure thing. He's an athlete. He's not a quarterback. So, yes, it's good to get him, but you'd rather get a guy, Robinson, Carius Kern, Brian Huff last year that was a 4-star linebacker, those type of guys. You got to get them.
Nate, this is Clay Henry, and I'm
Yes,
listening
Clay.
to what
Happy
you said,
birthday.
and I get all this. But what I see, if I look in right now, we've got tunnel vision on Arkansas and what's going on with their recruits, commitments, decommitments, and woe's
Yeah.
me. Every one of these guys, they're still in play. So what's going on is they're playing one school off of another. They're getting a raise, and then a month later, say Arkansas comes back or Missouri comes back for an LSU guy, and they get another raise. The commitments don't mean anything right now, and it is all these guys are still in play from what I've been told by coaches and the guys that are covering recruiting. For instance, Ole Miss in the last 2 weeks have lost their top 5 guys, have decommitted. Well, they may get 3 of them, they may get 4 of them, but they're going to have to spend more money. What you have to decide, if you're Arkansas, you're Ole Miss, or any of these schools, what is the value of a 17-year-old that you don't know what he's going to be like? He's not going to play much next year because your rosters have suddenly gotten much, much older. And because you can go get a 4th-year player that's actually draftable, but he played at an FCS school or he played at a D2 school, but he's 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
So where would you spend your money? Would you spend somebody that you know is going to be either starter or in your 2 deep because he's a mature animal? I mean, he's physically gifted because he's been in weight programs. So it is really tough to decide how much money do you spend on a 17-year-old. And, it isn't over for any of these guys, any of these in-state guys. When you say you lost them, they ain't lost them yet because they got to decide how much money are they going to throw back at them.
That's a good point, and it's crazy that, I've known you for a long time, been here since 98, and you were doing this well before I got here, that we're actually having the conversation about the value of a 17-year-old. That's kind of boggles my mind that's where we are right now. But that's where we are exactly. You hit it on the head. And that's a good point that they come back. Now, based on some of the comments that Pittman's made about not having money in the coffers, you kind of wonder what kind of raise they can offer, if that's going to be applicable or not. But you are right. If they came up with that money, I think Crutchfield definitely wanted to go to Arkansas. But when I saw him eating lobster with the coaching staff up there, I pretty much knew that was over, and on that visit right before he committed. So, that's the thing that, yes, if they have the money, if they can get the money, yeah, and I agree with you about the transfer portal, but, are you able to get the top guys in the transfer portal too? That's the thing. And is it going to be easier for you to get a guy? I think Robinson as a 4-star is as a lock as you get. I think he is big time, and I think he could play as a freshman anywhere. And he's a big time, rarefied, bona fide guy. Not everyone is like that. I don't think Kern's like that. I think it's going to take Kern, who is from Marion and kind of a sheltered dude and a guy that, I think needs to mature some. Yeah, I don't think he could play right away. And it's also harder for a lineman to play. But there are certain guys. I think Braylon Russell's going to play right away.
Yeah, so I was going to say, there's a guy I watched in spring. I watched him 2 scrimmages, and he was bouncing through. Guys were hitting him. I'm talking about guys his size were hitting him, and he just redirected a little bit, kept on churning, with his pads down. And that's not your typical freshman. And I think he will benefit from being in a 3-back rotation that he didn't benefit in high school, that he's not going to have to carry 30 times. He can carry 10, 12, 13, and be fresh every time he goes out there, and will be a difference maker as a young player.
But he's also one of the
Agreed.
exceptions, Nate. But
He is the exception.
He would have
He's
to
a
be an
Cedric
exception
Cobbs. He's a
because-
Darren McFadden.
Well, and
Felix Jones.
this goes into what kind of player are you looking for when you're recruiting. And Arkansas has to play Moneyball like the A's used to play in the 2000s, looking for value.
That's what
And
I'm talking
They
about.
have to look for that value in terms of the transfers that are coming in. These guys have to come here and be able to produce immediately, and you can't expect that from high schoolers. That's where I worry a little more. Is it's tougher to find that value from incoming freshmen.
So you're going to spend $400,000 to get one of these guys, and that might be, $200,000 may not get you, the best player in your state. And is that guy going to play, 4, 5, 6, 7 games next year, or is it going to be he's got a red shirt, he's got to develop, but he is a great talent, but we've got, and if you have a place where you have to play a freshman, it means you're not playing it right in the portal.
Yeah, Clay, how do you think they've done in the portal? I mean, do you think they've done well enough in the portal and have enough money there that they can, compete in the SEC?
I'm so far removed from keeping up on the day-to-day on this number of X number of dollars, but I'll talk to somebody that can tell me something that happened 6 months ago, maybe not something that happened 3 weeks ago. I do know they've got more portal money than they're not strapped. They're not poor. They're able to, but they are weighing. Okay, do we take this guy and spend $350, or we take this guy and spend $500? When we know the guy that we're buying for $350 is going to play in front of. Don't spend $450 for a guy that can't beat out the portal guy.
Yeah, I'm kind of like you. I'm kind of on the outside looking in on that because I'm very focused on high school because that is my job. I'm the regional editor, but I do write a little bit about the Hogs. I've got some Razorback columns I write, but it looks to me, and you make it great, but it also looks to me there that they're not exactly striking gold there either. So
yeah, I think that portal. From talking to Petrino last week. And he went through the wide receivers and where they're at wide receiver talent. And he likes it. And I don't think I don't think he would be comparing some of these guys to Jarius Wright or Chris Childs or Greg Childs if he didn't really like them. And he named 4 guys that ran 10-400 or 10-300. That's speed, and they haven't had that kind of speed at wide receiver. Yeah. They've been slow at wide receiver the last 2 years, and that was something that he had to change. And you talk about Houston Nutt and what he'd be doing. I guarantee you he'd be going after cornerbacks and wide receivers that are those 10-3 guys, like a Greg Lasker. Yeah. And they have lacked that speed, and that's what I saw with all of those Final Four teams. All of those guys Michigan had elite speed. That's why the NFL loaded up on all their players. Washington had speed. Texas had speed. And that's what Bobby's played against these guys, and he said, we went out, and some of them are high school players, some of them are transfer portal, and it's like 10-3. That's where you go with elite speed.
And I believe in that from what I'm reading and from what I've seen a little of spring practice. As far as on the offensive side, I think that they've gotten faster offensively.
They've gotten faster at tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 guys can move. I watched them run on the outside, and that's the same thing that Matt Jones has kind of preached to us about what he saw as speed of his teammates. The Eddie Jacksons, the guys that came in with track speed. And, if Bobby said this, he says, we've got 3 guys coming in, the track coaches want them. And we're going to give them up for track practice. And he says, but that's how you get them.
You got to be okay with that.
Lawrence Richardson and Fred Talley, those elite speed guys.
Hey, Nate.
Yeah, it's important. No doubt about it. And I feel like the last couple of years when you watch them play on TV, you can tell there hasn't been a lot of athleticism on the field overall. When you look at,
you see burst,
and that's something that's got to change.
Quick twitch.
Yep, that's right.
Hey, Nate, I brought you on to talk a little baseball, but we've made it all through the segment, and I don't think we brought it up once. So we'll have to do it another time, okay?
No, that's fine. I always like talking football. And, Clay, it's a pleasure talking to you. Happy belated birthday. It looks like you had a great time up there. Yeah.
Hey,
Nate,
someone
great to hear your voice.
Someone else has a 50th birthday in like 6 weeks, so we'll give him some stuff.
Yeah,
about
I'll
that
be
when it
50
hits.
coming up, Clay. So yeah, I'm trying to catch you.
Thank you, Nate.
Nate Olson, Scorebook Live. Appreciate his time here on Halftime. Hey, make sure you got your Bet Saracen app downloaded. You're looking right now at a lot of things that you can put a little wager on. You got WNBA specials, Copa America tonight, the Americans against Uruguay, UEFA Euro specials. You got all kinds of preseason props on NFL football, college football, Major League Baseball in full swing as well. It's all going on right now at Bet Saracen, working on your Apple iPhone. Just download from the App Store. If you got the Android phones, Google Play is where you download. You can visit any web browser, betsaracen.com. It's the home stretch of halftime. Give us a call or a text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Back in just a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text LIKE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text LIKE to 42424. That's LIKE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Come out to the 2024 Freedom Fest, July 4th from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. in Greenwood. This year's festival is packed with craft and artisan vendors, food trucks, kids' activities, and live music. See special performances by Mike Ryan, The Bynum Project, Mr. Cabbagehead and the Screaming Radishes, and Millennial Jukebox. And at dusk, witness the largest fireworks display in the region. Freedom Fest 2024 in Greenwood. Hosted by Greenwood A&P Commission.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel, 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hall of Famer Clay Henry also with us here on Halftime. Matt Jones taking himself a vacation, and he's going to be at the USA Uruguay match tonight in Arrowhead. Just look for the 6'6" guy in one of the end zones. I don't think you'll be able to miss him on FS1.
Well, I sent him a note a little while ago. Matt Turner's injured. Just think about Matt Jones
as a
being in
soccer.
goal.
Oh my gosh!
You think you could do better than that?
I don't think so.
I know he's not, like peak condition. I mean, he watches his body, he eats properly. I mean, better than me and you, Phil. I mean, he goes for healthy stuff, doesn't he?
Oh, he jokes all the time about he's going to live shorter than me. But I keep telling, it's like, look at what you eat and look at what I eat. He's going to outlive me easily.
Yeah. But if he'd lived in Germany, so to speak, or France, he'd be a soccer goalie.
I think
that's
so.
what he'd be.
Yeah. Would he have to be a goalie at 6'? But what about the speed? Wouldn't you like him as an attacker? Wouldn't you him bringing it down?
He'd roll it out to somebody on the side and then make a run. And then it's like, well, where did that come? And then he'd head it in. I mean, it's just like, what's his word for the guys like Mbappe?
Galactico.
He would be a Galactico. He was a Galactico for Arkansas.
Ultimate soccer Galactico.
But he just like, you see him play football, then you see him walk out on the basketball court, and Nolan Richardson, who wants supreme athletes, guys that can play, and he goes, "You're ready to play right now." I mean, he could. I guarantee he could go in there and play goalie, and I don't know about diving, the balls at his feet or whatever. But if it's in the air or to the side,
he's going to get his hands on it.
He's gonna stop it.
For sure.
Hey, I'm going to derail us for just a second. We just played Jackson 5, I Want You Back.
Love that song.
So I was in 10th grade. I made the basketball team at Little Rock Central. And Fred Allen, Danny McDaniel, Harry Couch, they were my classmates, 10th graders. They made the team too. They started and played a lot on the varsity on the state championship team. I was just a JV guy. Played on the 10th grade team with them. Started in 10th grade tournaments, played with them. But we'd make these road trips. At Little Rock Central, back in the day, I mean, we were rock stars. We had a sleeper bus for, like, if we went to Fort Smith or El Dorado. I mean, we had the big Greyhound bus. We didn't go in a Yellowhammer.
So
we went on charters.
That's a charter.
Yeah.
I think a sleeper bus.
Not
I think of what I rode in with the travelers. We could actually lay down and sleep.
No, just lean the seat back, and you have a bathroom in the back, which is different than a Yellowhammer.
Okay.
Yeah. So we would come back. Of course, on the road trip, you'd be really quiet. On the way back, early days of like boombox with these big class D batteries. I mean, they're huge batteries, but you know they'd last about 2 or 3 hours. Well, we get to play that on the way back with 8 tracks, and then we would play the Jackson 5 over and over. And me and the seniors, they thought we were stupid. We would dance up and down the aisles to that song. I Want You Back. And I learned to dance watching Fred Allen and Danny McDaniel, and I mean, those are my brothers. Went to our 50-year class reunions, and they were there. It just was a treat to see them. I think Fred is a state senator now.
Well, Clay, I Want You Back was the number 28 hit of 1970, according to Billboard magazine.
Yep. Well, it was for us. It didn't get any better than that. We played, ABC 1, 2, 3. That was another Jackson 5 song.
Their biggest hit of 1970 was "I'll Be There."
That was Jackson 5.
That's been the whole theme today for the music, by the way. It's been 1970.
Yeah,
number one song of 1970.
Yep.
"Bridge Over Troubled Water" by Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah. Well, we didn't do that one.
I'm sure
we didn't dance up.
It's not really a dancing song on a school bus.
No, not on a big Greyhound or whatever that thing was. But what great memories, Phil.
Hey, did you see? Speaking of memories, for me, today is Bobby Bonilla Day. For those who celebrate properly, really, it should just be called Baseball Salary Deferral Day because he's not the only one. So we know that he makes a little over $1 million, $1.19 million payment each year for 25 years. Started in 2000, goes another I think 11 years from now. He still gets another $500,000 deferred from the Baltimore Orioles. So Bobby Bo is making about $1.7 million a year from 2 teams he hasn't played for in forever. Now, this brings back memories to me because I was there when Bonilla was a rookie, coming up in '86 with the Pirates. This is actually one of the greater non-drafted American-born players of all time, and I hate that his career has just kind of been encapsulated into a little bit of a joke of a deferred salary.
A trivia question.
Yeah. He's not the only trivia question. Just get a load of some of the other guys here that are making some money here. Ken Griffey Jr. Is making $3.6 million from the Reds, and this is the last year he gets this payment. He's made it 15 years. Manny Ramirez gets $2 million a year from 2011 through 2026 from Boston. Matt Holliday is making $1.5 million for 9 years. It ends in 29. Chris Davis, who literally was the least productive hitter in the American League for about 3 years with the Orioles, gets $3.5 million through 32, and then $1.7 million a year through 37. Brett Saberhagen is making $250,000 a year. And, of course, there's the more famous one now of Shohei Ohtani's contract, which is basically all deferrals, $2 million a year for 10 years, and then he's going to be making $680 million over a 9-year period. So that's $680 million of deferrals, $75.5 million a year.
He may play for another 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think he can hit. I don't think there's any. I don't know if he can pitch. We'll find that out, how this elbow holds up after surgery. But that guy's. I think that was a good deal for the Dodgers. And when you look at what inflation is,
he's not making money. Like that money is frozen in terms of 2024.
Yeah,
that's
correct.
right.
Yeah,
the crazy thing about Bonilla's deferral is the Mets thought they would make money on this deferral because they took the money that they were supposed to pay him in a lump sum, and they invest in it with Bernie Madoff.
I did not know that.
That's where that money went to. It went to Bernie Madoff,
crap.
and it literally exploded into nothing. So that's one of the worst contract deals of all time.
Was Ty Richardson working there? That sounds something like Ty would concoct.
Yes.
I don't think.
Let's go take this
He's
deferral.
never played with anybody.
Let's go take this money. Let's go give it to the man who's designing the biggest Ponzi scheme in the history. That's why the Mets ended up getting sold. That's why they got sold through that whole Ponzi scheme. Just craziness.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like we're investing in a bridge in the desert. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, or beachfront property in Pine Bluff.
Yeah.
As someone texted in earlier and said,
George Strait did a song on that.
The guy who thought that said Nick Saban will be the next Arkansas head coach. Someone texted, I've got beachfront property in Pine Bluff to sell this man if he thinks that's happening too. Hey, we've got a break. We'll be back and wrap up halftime in just a moment.
This is halftime.
Hot summer soon gives way to fall hunting season. And with the new Arkansas Early Bow Hunt, now is the time to get your new Hoyt Alpha X or the Carbon RX-8 dialed in. Check out the new Lift compounds from Matthews, the bow that puts aluminum in a new light. Sub 4 pounds and shooting 348 feet per second. Jelco Outdoors, your full-line archery store in the River Valley. Get ready for fall bow hunting at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news. Backed by popular demand, state sales tax paid when you trade on our huge inventory of road-ready certified vehicles. That's right. This month, get the best used car your money can buy, road-ready certified with warranty, and get your state sales tax paid when you trade. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
USA Fireworks is a leading firework wholesaler in Arkansas with over 35 years of experience, located in Mulberry, right off 64. They offer an impressive selection of top-of-the-line products from the best brands like World Class, Brothers, Winda, Raccoon, Cutting Edge, and Black Cat, ensuring a spectacular display for every occasion. Whether it's a big city event or just a family gathering, USA Fireworks is dedicated to delivering the best show at the best value. If you're interested in buying a wholesale fireworks show, visit our website, usafireworks.org.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leaf-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Jason. We can't stop. We can't wrestle. On top. But if you want to let me.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Matt Jones on vacation. Clay Henry sitting in with me, and we appreciate that. And also Christian Johnston for producing today. Get some NBA news coming through here as Klay Thompson apparently going to sign with Dallas. Sources, that's getting C Maverick all fired up over here. Adrian Wojnarowski reporting 3 years.
Daniel Gafford, new teammate.
$50 million.
Yeah.
I think that's mainly because he's going to get to start with Dallas.
Yeah. If they can pick up somebody like Drew Holiday, that's the dude. If
I'm Boston, I'm not letting go of Drew Holiday. Although that's the other bit of news is the Celtics are being put up for sale.
Yeah.
Being put up for sale. It's been 2 weeks since they won the NBA championship, and I guess you got to strike while the iron is hot.
It's pretty hot.
It must be. $360 million is what the group that currently owns them paid for. It was 2000. I didn't realize the Celtics were sold in 2002. Were they still publicly traded when this group bought them? $360 million. They're worth what? The last team that was sold were the Phoenix Suns. They went for $4 billion. So you're going to
this will be
quite $6 billion. This will be quite a bit more than Phoenix.
Yep, I would think so.
That's amazing. That is literally striking while the iron is hot.
Yep. Oh, it's to me it's embarrassing. It's like the embarrassment of riches.
Well, and I think that the NBA is going to be. I mean, these franchise valuations will continue to go higher and higher. I mean,
it's real estate, baby.
Well, it's what these are. It's television content. I mean, it's the same idea. Franchise valuations for major league franchises. It's a little bit of the same as like looking at the SEC Big Ten schools making so much more money than ACC and Big Ten and Big 12. You know what I mean? Why are you making that much money? Well, because people want to watch your games. It isn't the gate. It's not the tickets people are paying. It's not the merchandise. All of this goes into it. But where these franchises make most of their money is by being programming. And that's I think that more than anything is where these franchise valuations have skyrocketed.
I've talked to someone that was behind the scenes with the New York franchises like the Yankees, and they talk about what's the cable market, what's that network in New York City?
It's called Yes.
And what they pay for Yankees games, and the reason why it's all blacked out. I mean, regional games, but what one region, one market can get for cable TV, behind the scenes pass like that, it's billions and billions. Just think about there's 10 million in New York City.
Wow. Yeah, and they'll all watch those games religiously too.
Yeah.
They're going to make
especially
sure
when they're good, and Celtics are good. Yankees are good right now.
Well, Clay, thanks for. I really appreciate you helping out this week.
We'll do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, we will do it again tomorrow. See you see Maverick. You too. Or should I just call you C. Thompson today now?
Yeah, I'm going to take my time off. Matt deserves his too.
Got a splash bro on the team.
I don't think you could call him a splash bro anymore. That's reserved for being on one team only, and that's it. That's right. They're not the Bash brothers anymore when Canseco and McGuire moved on to other teams. All right, so for Clay Henry, for C. Maverick, C. Brother, I'm Phil. Thanks for listening today. Ruskin and Zach coming up next. That's halftime. Get up, get out, and get better.
Let me grab my car keys.